Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. What's your name?
Beant Singh, last name Lamba.
And today's date is November 16th, 2014.
Yeah.
Okay. How old were you in 1984?
I was 31.
And what was your occupation at the time?
I worked for a post office.
Where were you in June of 1984?
In June 1984, I was in Punjab, Kharad, near Chandigarh.
So when and how did you even hear about the violence that was happening?
It was all curfew, so we heard the attack on the Golden Temple.
You had a curfew as well?
Yeah.
Do you remember what time your curfew was?
They do the curfew in the morning till the evening.
Did you work?
No, I was on vacation in Punjab.
Okay, so you heard that there was a curfew and you were made to stay inside your home at the time?
Yeah, my Nanaji was sick at that time, so we couldn't able to take him to the doctor.
And he needed medical attention?
And then we were not able to take him, and he died on 9th of June due to complication with the means constipation and all the stuff. So he died on 9th June, and then we have to wait until the curfew. They opened the curfew, then we took his body for cremation.
Do you think he died because he wasn't able to get that medical attention?
He was sick, but we couldn't able to take to the doctor.
So those restrictions really affected your family.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any violence around the area that you were in?
No.
It was just a curfew that prevented you from living your life?
We were staying home.
When you were able to go and cremate his body, did you go outside and see any type of violence or rioting in the area that you were in?
No, everybody was like busy to go get their stuff. They were not talking anything, but there was limited people in the cremation time.
So it was something that people were just getting in and getting out to.
Yeah, I mean they were just going there and to get their stuff.
In November of 1984, where were you?
I was in Delhi.
So you were actually in Delhi proper, or what section of Delhi were you in?
I was in Lakshmi Nagar, Trans-Jamuna area.
Okay. And was your occupation still at the post office at the time?
I was working in a telephone department.
Okay. And what type of hours did you keep when you were working at that time in November?
9 to 5.
Okay. So how and when did you hear about the violence in November?
On 31st October, when I went to work, and everything was okay. Then we got a telephone call. The junior engineer who was in charge of one Saptajang Road, PM House, he didn't able to go there, so he was with us in our office. And then he tried to contact his personnel inside the PM House. There were telephone people inside. But behind the one Saptajang Road, there was like those tents for the labor people, works for the post office. So they called that they heard so much, like there's having some fire, you can say like
explosions.
They thought it's like firecrackers going on. It was so much when they heard so many bullets, but they thought it's a firecrackers.
So they didn't know it was bullets at the time?
They didn't know, and then we called them, and then we heard that Indira Gandhi was assassinated in the morning.
So you heard that when you were at work?
When I reached work, yeah.
But your wife, was she a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah, they were at home.
And your son, did he go to school at the time?
No.
So both of them are at home?
They are at home.
And you heard about Indira Gandhi's assassination when you were at work?
I heard that, and the people who were inside the PM house, they told us that their body got killed, and even we know the name also at that time.
Everything immediately you knew?
Right, 9:30 or 9:45.
How did you feel when you started to get this information?
We didn't realize that nobody knows, think about it, that it's going to happen in that mass killing. We were just saying that somebody should, means we never thought about it. But in the evening, then we heard that they told us that after first fire bullets, and then after certain time, then they heard again the bullets.
Same place.
Same place, and that was we heard that it was they got Satwan Singh and Beant Singh to the guard room. In the guard room, they start shooting them in the guard room.
And that was how far from
The
where you
security.
were?
No, I was far away.
Okay, you were just hearing these rumors.
No, I mean it's the staff working inside the PM house.
Okay.
So they told us that it happened. They got those Beant Singh and Satwan Singh in the guard room, and then they start shooting them in the guard room. That's where they were got bullets.
So you were still at work at this time?
Yeah, I was there at work. Means nothing, we heard anything going on until in the evening. We heard that there was some violence on AIMS, All India Medical Institute, where her body was taken. There was so many like stone throwing and that kind of stuff going on.
Who did you think, or who did you hear that the stones were being thrown from to who?
It was like telephone to telephone, means people were talking.
And what did they say? Like, did you have an understanding that this was just people in the city doing this, or if the military or the police was doing it? What was your understanding?
At that time, it was like a crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, who gathered over there, they were doing it.
And who were they throwing the stones at?
On the 6th, yeah.
By the hospital.
Yeah.
And so you're still at work when you're hearing this as well?
Means I left work at around 6:30, and we were deciding, it was not decided yet where they're going to keep the body. Then finally they make a decision that they're going to bring to the Timurti house, where they're going to keep the body. And I left home and my colleague left home. So next morning when we wake up, we didn't realize that up to that time that it's going to happen, that kind of stuff.
So still, when you went to sleep, you weren't scared, you
No,
weren't worried?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. When I wake up in the morning, we turn on the TV, and we were seeing that, I was talking to my wife, means on the bus, on the street, I don't see any sick guy on the street, on the TV, they were not showing it. So I was talking to my wife, what's going on? I don't see any sick. But till that time, I didn't realize that it's going to happen in that kind. So I was not worried about anything. I was worried that where the body they kept, it was under my jurisdiction. So I have to go to work. There was I have to open some circuits for news media. So after watching TV, and they were watching, and I left home to grab a bus.
So even then you felt a little bit okay?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel any scary that I never realized that it's going to happen in that way.
Okay.
It was just a normal life.
So you got to work fine that day?
No, I get into the bus, and I don't see no sick in the bus. While I was going, it crossed the Jamna bridge, and after that, I don't see, otherwise every day you see people on scooters, on bike, on cycles. I see nobody. And people who were at means they were coming to the bus every stop, and they were looking at me like where he's going. I was the only one sick in the bus. So that time I realized something is not good. So I get down for going to the office. I used to go through passing the Rajpath, where they have the parade on Independence Day. Mm-hmm. So I have to pass that area to get to my office. So I went inside, and then while I was walking, there was a red light. But for for me it was, I just passed. For the buses, they will have a red light. I saw there was 2 buses full of people, and they were just shouting Indira Gandhi, Jindabad, and so. And I was myself walking on the road, nobody else over there. So I thought, at that time I realized, means it might be wrong if I run or anything. So I was keeping my pace to walking and just looking and behind it, nobody's coming. So I realized that if I run, everybody will catch me, that why he's running. So I just keep walking, went into my office. Jab tak suraj chand rahega, Indra tera naam rahega. So many slogans they were doing. But nobody, with the grace of Vaheguru, nobody see me. Otherwise I won't be here. So I went to the office and then I started working to open different circuits. I had contact with the different people on the road, like co-workers who are working on the road. They have to make a connections, and from the exchange also I have to coordinate all those people. One of our colleagues, they told us that, sir, don't go outside, it's so bad. Means even I was in a federal building. It was like they have a security guards, and then they were saying that my co-workers, they are saying that if you find any Sikh, kill him.
Did you have any other Sikh co-workers?
No.
Just you?
No, just me. Means they were like casual workers.
Yeah.
They work on the, like, making connections, all those telephone lines. So they say they were from UP. They were, but they were very much respecting me. So I just locked myself inside the room, and the security people didn't even know that I was in the building. If they know, they might come to me. But I told them, just do your work and we will be okay. And then my wife called me. Where are you? I say, I'm at work. She say, they have gone in the roof and see everywhere there was so fire everywhere, and Trans Jamuna was the worst. So I say, I will stay here. She said, go to Ashok Nagar. Means if you are safe. I say, no, I'm safe over here. If I go out, I might not be alive.
And who was she with when she called you? She just stayed home?
Yeah, she was a housewife. She didn't work.
Were you worried about how she was at home with your son?
Means they were safe in the home. Sorry. They were safe in the home.
So she told you she was safe, so you...
Yeah, she says fire everywhere, be careful. And then I was there inside room and I was doing all the job, and then those casual workers, they called me that every restaurant is closed, we don't even have a tea or anything. So then in the evening I call the mess, military mess, as they were like, they didn't eat anything. Usually they used to eat in the dhabas and other stuff. So I call them and then they say, okay, send your people in the mess, we'll give them the food. But in the meantime, there was a family moved in our subdivision in the colony, and he was a police inspector. He was from the Punjab, and Inspector Bhardwaj. So he used to come in the lunchtime for doing his puja. He was very much religious person. So my wife went to their home and she talked to his daughters. They were like sister-in-law. They treated like a sister-in-law. So, and she was crying. She heard everywhere means bad things are going on. So then when she left home and his daughter told their father that please go, and they gave me my telephone number. At that time I don't have any connection at home. You have to go here and there and call, and in the evening all the connection was disconnected. Telephone lines were dead.
So you didn't know how your family was doing
no,
at that
means
time?
I don't have any connections. So then Inspector Bhardwaj called my office. He said this and this, and your wife told me to take care of you. Let me know what time you want to go home, so I'll take you home. So I was scared. I said it might be somebody is trying to get me out of the building.
You didn't know which one?
I never talked to Inspector Bhardwaj. We never have. He just moved in the colony recently, month or 2 months ago. I was trying to. I say, okay, uncle, I will let you know. But my father was also not at home. He was trapped somewhere else. So I said, let me make a contact with him so we can both go with you. So he said, okay. Then I keep on calling home, and luckily I got neighbor's telephone, and they call, and I told them, my brother, I said, did you tell Panditji that to bring me at home? He said, yeah. I said, okay, now I'm fine. So I call him around 9. Then I'm done with the work. You can come, what time you can come. So I tell him the door, which door you can come, and he say, okay, I'll be there, and I'll have one of my casual workers standing outside. So when the police comes, so he can inform me. So means he called me, and then I went down, and Bhardwaj sit next to the driver, front seat. So means at that time nobody can believe what's going to happen. So he was taking care that he should not go to any area. It was like 11:30 in the night.
When was the last time you talked to Auntie before you got in the car at 11:30?
It was around, you can say 7 or 8.
And you were at ease, you felt okay that your family was fine?
Yeah, they were okay. At that time nothing happened.
Okay.
So they keep me in the police jeep, like hide me, and there were police people sitting to cover me up. So they went to different routes, and then finally at 11:30 or 12 they dropped me at my house.
With your dad?
No, he came next morning. It was like Deb Bhardwaj inspector saved me, and my father was in another Bhardwaj house at that night. So I was lucky that I'm survived. There was a TV guy. He was working, and they hide him in the TV van, but the mob got him and killed him.
That same night?
Yeah, next day, on the 1st of November.
And that was somebody you knew?
No, but it was in the news that I heard that. Afterward, when I heard that the guy was killed, and luckily I reached home safe.
Did you spend the night at home that night?
Yeah, after that I didn't go to work. I was there up to 10:30, 11 at work.
What did you hear and see the rest of the days that you were at home?
Everything was like, we just stay home, and in the night we just go on the roof of the houses to see if any bad person can attack us, or so we were having nothing, just rods.
And how did you feel during that time period?
We were just protecting our families, that if somebody comes, then we had to fight. But nothing happened to our colony.
How many days did you stay in that condition where you stayed home all day and then went upstairs to keep checking at night?
After the cremation, everything started coming normal. And the day before cremation, there was no police, nothing, no army on the streets at that time. They let the people to go and attack. So nobody was stopping. Even Bhardwaj requested to the police, he needs some policemen in our colony to safeguard it. They said we don't have any. And then Bhardwaj says that You just hide on the side of the wall in the daytime. So once my bullets will finish, then you can come forward. Don't come in forward. I'll take care if somebody comes, the mob comes. So, but
So he protected your family personally?
the whole colony.
Okay. How many houses were in that colony?
You can say we have at least 50, 66 family.
And did you guys as six stay in your own houses, or did you come into one home?
No, we were meeting each other, and the ladies and the kids were in the house.
And what did you feel when you guys were in this waiting period?
I mean, it was, you never know what's going to happen and when the mob is going to come. So we were just there with the rods and or hockey stick. And the day before the cremation, the military came into the colony, and they say it's going to be a curfew in the night. If we see anybody outside, we're going to shoot. So stay inside the house. So it makes us more scary that they might want to get in the house and then just bring the mob and then start killing. So we say, okay, the lights were all off, gone on the main street, and we say, okay, we'll just sit in the roof and just watch if something happens. But nothing happened, and in the night, midnight, we saw the trucks on the main street. They were going, the military trucks, and they have their headlights off, and we didn't know what's going on. I mean, there were so many trucks went there. Next day we heard that they were carrying all those bodies from the street, Jamnapal.
So you put it together the next day that this is what was happening?
We saw that some military trucks are going with their headlights off. Means they clean the city as after cremation, you know, all those national news media has to come. So they clean all the bodies one day before the cremation.
Did you have any friends or family members that were personally killed or went through this violence?
Not anybody I know, but there was so much violence.
And the mobs that you heard about, who were they that were committing the violence?
They were, I didn't see from my eyes the mob. They didn't come to.
What did you hear? Who they
were?
They
were like all Hindus, or they were throwing all. They have some kind of material with them. They throw and put a fire on it.
Did you stay in the same house after 1984?
Yeah, until 1990 when I moved to US.
And then when you were there, even within your colony or with your friends or family, did you ever talk about what you saw in 1984?
Not that much after that.
Not even with you didn't share your feelings or experiences with the people that you were there and feeling it and going through it at the same time?
Not that much.
How about with the next generation, like your kids or?
My kids, the older son, he was 4 years old. So he was very much worried about that time.
And you were comforting him when he was going through it?
We have a Christian family in our neighborhood. So in the night time, my wife and my son, they will go to their house. They have the addresses of all Sikh houses. So we will not stay in our house. It was empty. So they will stay neighbors, the Christian's house.
Did you stay with the Christian family as well, or you
No,
stayed at
home? Nobody at home. We were just guarding the whole colony in the night time.
Do you have nightmares and flashbacks?
After the assassination, it was the government tried to kill, to take a revenge. They should not have done it. They didn't kill all Hindus when Mahatma Gandhi was killed by a Hindu. So they got they were looking for doing this thing to the Sikhs, and they got it at that time, and they did their killings.